there's something
Mm.
about location, especially like in LA, and just even like being in LA a lot for music myself. There's just something about like being able to be there like quickly.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
is there was that one of the reasons why you made the move? We haven't talked about that yet, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you go to kind of where the action is.
yeah,
I don't think you have to live in LA to do this, but I think you have to be willing if something like that comes up, even if it doesn't pan out, to get on a flight and get there on your own dime quickly.
yeah, yeah.
And not tell anyone that oh, let me see if I can get a flight. Just be like, yeah, and then
Yeah,
just get
totally.
there. So if you don't live in LA, I think that that's something you should be willing to do, and that goes for any position of anyone in the music side. I talked to a guy recently, and he was really surprised. I had said something just kind of offhand, like I don't have a picture with Katy Perry. Like I've never taken a picture. Like, hey, let's take it. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I'm in some pictures with her just because I'm in shot and they're taking a picture of her.
totally.
But and they were like, "What? Like you? That seems crazy." And I consider her a friend, and we do things outside of work. Um, our families know each other, that whole thing. But I've never the implied familiarity that sometimes I think musicians get with when they're in a band, the idea that we're family, quote unquote,
Yes, yeah.
it's not really that. I don't I I get why people say that, and I think there's something heartfelt about that, but in a professional environment is really what it is. It's about relationships, um, but it really is. It's the artist's business that we're
Yes.
all working for. So I think boundaries. Yeah, I think people. I think the younger you are, probably the harder time you have with boundaries, um, because there's so few boundaries socially now, anyway. But
Yeah.
um, that is one that really that as far as keeping a gig, being mindful of your boundaries is a big one. For music directing, it's probably what's this is there's a saying about these three too. You're part politician, part technician, part musician.
Sure, sure,
So
sure, sure.
you have to have a strong musical base to know what to do. Someone
Yeah.
says, whatever. Someone says, or like what I'm doing with Katie right now. She has a new album coming out, and now we're looking at her whole back catalog, and we need to make the back catalog sound like this new record
Yes, yeah,
for
sure.
show. So you have to be able to do that. You've got to be able to know all the different styles, know all the rules of the genres. Don't break those rules, but when you break them for a reason. There's a
Yeah.
lot of very um, relevant music things. Also, being able to arrange, play an instrument, at least one of them, well. On the music side, have a network of people you can call upon to do things for you. All the vocalists, guitar players, and other programmers, blah, blah, blah. Those relationships, treat those people well, pay them as best you can.
Yeah.
It's less money in your pocket, but in the long run, don't try to do everything yourself. That's when I see a lot of music directors doing now that just kills me because they're like, I can do this and I'll do this. And they'll try to do it all.
Yeah.
And one, it comes across as too creatively too, um, you know, just one thing. Um, uh, but also you burn out really quick and you can't do more at the same time. Because
Yes, yeah.
usually when I'm putting together something, I'll have maybe three or four artists. I'm doing all their stuff all at the same time. So
Right.
anyway, so there's that music aspect, which I could talk for, probably too long about that. And then the politician part of it too is obviously being respectful of everyone's timelines. Um,
Yep. Sure.
and under promise, over deliver everything. Saying when you say like, okay, I'll okay, I can get that to you by Tuesday, then always send it on Sunday. Like know that you can deliver it by Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, stuff like that. Um, and then the technician side, obviously, knowing if you want to be a music director, knowing how to do playback, knowing all the rules for players, knowing for every instrument, like, okay, that's not possible. A guitar player can't
Yeah.
do that. I'm trying to translate this. A drummer, and this happens a lot with drummers and me. And it's kind of funny. Well, a drummer will go like, I don't think I can do that. I'm like, do you want me to show you how you can do that? I
Yeah.
do exactly
Nice.
that. And then they go, okay, all right. So just know
Nice.
if you're saying that you're not, that you're not lying.
Yeah.
How many samples they can cover and on what and what parts. So the technician side, knowing the technical limits of at least what you're asking people to do. I try to be very transparent about when I can and cannot be somewhere, because I think the temptation when you're taking work is to just say yes and then figure it out later when
Yeah.
you know there's a conflict schedule wise. If you know there's a conflict, it's always best to just say, okay, I've got till this date. I can't be there physically then. I'm happy to send someone that's not me, someone that I work with.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work for you, totally understand, and then um, not try to take too much. One, it's just stressful.
Yeah.
And then two, it's lying. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, physically, I'll make sure I'm only in one place at a time,
Totally.
at least
Totally. Yeah.
calendar wise. But then the rest of the time, I've got some other people that work with me that are great arrangers and programmers, different styles, and I usually just will take a project and go, okay, I can physically do about a third of this, so the other two thirds, I'll Pete Dyer, can you do this song? Can you do this song? John Witt Jr., can you do this song and this song?
Yeah.
And all us MDs do that. And a lot of us use the same people too, and they're just great people. And then a lot of us MDs too, like you talked about the Korg thing with Dave Cook.
Yeah.
So you're like, Dave, I can't, this is on the East Coast. I can't be in the East Coast. Would you mind jumping in and doing this? And he'll be like,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And so us MDs, we'll communicate with each other too as much as possible. And if we need help, to say, man, I need some help here. Or I don't have time to do this. You'd be perfect for it. Can I recommend you?
Any tips for MDs or musicians that have a quick turnaround time? You
Hmm.
mentioned 40 songs a week sometimes for Idol.
Well, I mean, there are only so many hours in the day. So managing
Yes, yeah.
your workload best you can. Bring in help. Be willing to not make anything in order to deliver. Um, Sometimes, yeah, and especially early on, I would be in the hole on a project. Try to be responsible. Don't be dumb. But if it means you delivering and maybe not making as much as you hope to, it's better to deliver and then next time ask for more money, you
Yeah.
know? So, just knowing what it would take. But, good. That's another three thing, right? Good, fast, cheap, right? You get to pick two.
Yes, yeah.
So, um, it's okay to say if a project they need you to turn it around really fast, then say, I'm gonna need to don't say I need more money. Say I need to bring in some help on this because
Yes.
the turnaround is so quick. So it's gonna cost a little bit more. Um, yeah, just saying like I'm gonna need more money. Like that, yeah, that's a see you later. That usually, I mean, it's just if you want to deliver, then I would frame it that way. What I see a lot of times is um, just people not doing a good job with what they're given, and
Yeah.
it's usually not hard, and um, and it usually doesn't have anything to do with music. I mean, there are a lot of good players, but it's something as simple as reading the entire email, you know, and and you'll see at the bottom, oh, there was a Dropbox link to my up mixes for my parts, and
Right.
I'm dumbfounded at how many auditions I've done, and half the people go, "Oh, can you send that to me again?" Like,
Yeah, yeah.
"What?" So, and people that have done auditions for me, people that know me, know it's just full of those stories, and I am not shy about telling people those stories too, because if you're dumb enough to do that, then I'm probably gonna use that as a warning for other people,
Oh, yeah.
to not hire
No.
you.
And any general tips for those looking to bolster their prospect?
Mm,
In the music industry, I think I'm typically thinking about musicians. I don't know, we haven't necessarily spoken lots about that, but hiring musicians. Are there things
mhm.
that you're looking for specifically now in 2024, other than uh, ego,
Yeah.
things like looking at the whole email, things like that.
Yeah.
Any general tips?
Well, yeah, I mean, love it or hate it, social media is like the way that we find people for
Yeah.
gigs. That's always when someone says, "Oh, you should check out this person," always go to their Instagram and you look at the first couple things. And so make sure you have a video pinned at the top of what you actually do
Yes.
and you doing it. So I don't if you have to dig for like a guitar player like playing guitar, that's like you must not be good. You're not, or there's something there. So
Totally.
always if you're a singer, have a video of you singing pinned somewhere up at the top that's not tuned, it's not part of an album, it's you actually just singing.
Yes.
So just be real. And um yeah, that's nearly almost it. Because when I'm looking around for players or someone says, "Oh, can you send me links to the band?" That's what I'll do. I'll just send a link to the Instagram,
Yeah.
and I'll find a picture online and and the artist or the managers, they'll do the exact same thing. They'll click on it, they'll see what the first pin videos are, and
Yeah.